on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here, up $1,589 in the first hour of trading. Actually finished the day up around 2250 on the day, so uh, not a bad day. Markets are definitely picking up. Small caps are picking up, so the dreaded summer is over, and we're starting to see a little bit more life. So let's get into the trades, and I'll show you what I did. Okay, so let's get into this first trade here. This first trade was SFIX, and it was a short. So yesterday, this thing just completely was straight down, and it closed the low of day. And I'm like, if you remember correctly, if you saw my video from yesterday, I tried to go long here, the 100-day moving average, and just blew through it. Really, really weak. So I thought today it was going to test the 200-day moving average. And it was right. It nailed it exactly right on the head, 200-day moving average, and that's where it ended basically. So I was looking to short this, and this looks a little different here. There wasn't 218,000 shares of volume in the first minute. When I run the live clip, it'll look a lot different, and it'll make a lot more sense. But out of the open, it was really weak. It kind of popped up. I did use these pre-market candles, in my equation here, but it was kind of just an opening range breakdown. But I did use this level as the breakdown. I don't typically do that. Normally, I like to do that inside the first 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of trading. But since I really thought this was going to flush out, I took an entry as soon as it looked like it was going to go candle under candle right here. This is where I took my entry, and I was thinking if this broke, this level is 2940 level broke, it would start flushing out, and that's exactly what happened. The spike here that happened is showing that it went to 275. I didn't see that happen. It looked a lot shallower, like 261. When I roll the clip, you'll see that. So it just told me that there's just no buyers here, and the volume was like super weak, maybe 5,000 shares. And then as it was going down, volume drastically picked up, and you'll see the volume spike. This volume is not correct. I don't know why it's showing that. So anyway, I start trying to go short here at 29.45, but since it's short share restricted, I have to wait to get filled, and it's coming down to this 29.40 level. There's some bidders there. I start getting filled. I get a partial fill on this 1685 shares. I don't get my full to 2000. So it flushes out, and it just keeps going and going and going, like I thought it would. And when I cover, this one just hurts me. So I try to put my stop. You watch me. I'll put in my stop loss. I'll be like, okay, 28.81, and I meant to do a stop on quote, which is a stop whenever the price would hit 28.81. It would automatically cover my shares, but I didn't switch. I didn't switch it. I kept it at limit. So when I went to push the cover button, it just immediately covered, and I was so pissed because it did continue ending up going down further and just flushing out incredibly. I left a lot of money on the table. The caffeine hadn't kicked in yet, so it was a good trade, but it could have been a lot better, as I had full intention to hold this quite a bit longer. So, oh well.
Thanks. 8-9, you give me $2 on mine.
VTV
Keep an eye on
Therapeutics
that.
spiking here at
It's
the
hard when you're
open,
watching two
$3.18.
stocks at the same time.
Victor Tango, Victor Tango.
Because your attention is sort of split. And VTVT is coming right up to that gap fill at 322, which we were aware of. As soon as I got into VTVT at 98, there was like a 17,000 share sell.
$3.22 the high now on VTVT.
Like, well,
I'm trying to go short on SFIX. I don't know if I get filled here.
It ended up moving a little more than I thought it would, but that's okay. NVCN.
All right, I'm short 29.40, partial fill.
Hit low of day and 3
down volume starting to slow, so I might be covering here soon. I'll just use like the 10-cent levels to cover. If 80 breaks, I'll cover.
Yeah, I'm up $1,300. I could have been more aggressive, but I didn't expect BTBT to continue because it's a continuation setup. You know, that's kind of the thing.
Oh, I meant to put a stop loss at 28.81. Instead, I just covered straight. So I'm out, unfortunately. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to cover. I'm retarded. I covered 28.78. Okay, so this next trade, ARDM, this one just didn't work out in the time that I wanted it to. It did eventually do the move that I thought I was going to do actually today. With the volume that came into it, I was calling for a move to the 200-day moving average, and sure enough, it's kind of what it did. But when I got into it, it was just too slow going for me at the time. You kind of see these moves here just a penny at a time, and it wasn't until later that it just all of a sudden kind of took off, and it was just kind of wild all day long. But so anyway, this is a boring trade. If you want to fast forward, go ahead. I got in 124 when it hit my scanners. That's up here, and it just was moving way too slow, so I just dumped it for a penny win.
Have to, you know, play it smart. My kind of feeling is
I'll give it a shot, ARDM.
Is going to be to wait for the next stock to hit the scanner. That's a possibility, but you know, to just keep watching.
125.
Great job. Amazing.
If it starts to pull back, I'll just bail. Starting to get a little more volume now. Just needs about 5 more thousand. Doesn't move very quick.
On your own, understand your entry, exit based on your risk tolerance. So good job.
All right, I'm gonna get out of this ARDM until it maybe breaks 130. So these next trades, it was actually 2 buys back to back of different stocks. So we'll go into them really quick. The BLIN hits my scanners, and this is kind of what I'm looking at right here. When it hits my scanners, I see that it's kind of just bouncing between this level. I also know that when this stock can get volume, on the days it has volume, it does pop to the 200-day moving average, which was 167. So my thought process is here is, okay, hits my scanners, it's getting a little volume. Is it going to be one of the days that it gets, 14 million shares of volume out of nowhere? I don't know. I do know that it can pop, but it always drops. Pop always drops. Pop always drops. So if I get into this thing, first off, it's got to break these moving averages here. And once it does, it could get here. So it hits my scanners. I give it a shot. I go long. It's really small risk here because my stop is going to be right here at 107. So I'm getting in at 110, right there. Let's see, is this the 49? Yeah, so as soon as it breaks this level here on the 1 minute chart, I go long, and I end up sitting in this for a long time, and I think I sold later on for basically made a penny on it. So I'll show you that. But the main trade right after that was ORGS. ORGS hits my scanners, and the thing that I liked about it was, first off, it was creeping back to high a day, and it was breaking that level. That's one. It broke the whole dollar level. The second is, at the time, it was up at the 200-day moving average, and it was looking like it was going to crack that. And the daily chart behind it, yesterday, it moved up very nicely. So, and ended the day at the highs. So this was just telling me it wanted to move back up. I was going to give it a shot. I actually took an early entry on this at 827, and it started to come back down, and there's a big range here from $8. That's $1, and I'm taking 2,000 shares. So if it doesn't move immediately, I'm getting out because it could easily just flush out $1, and I'm down $2,000. So that's what happened. I go long, and it doesn't work out for me. It starts coming back down, and I stop out at 822. Then this is where the money got made. It popped back up, and it starts to break 850. I try to go long for the 850 break, and I hit a market order, and I get filled at 973. Well, at this time, it's hitting everybody's scanners. You'll hear the chat rooms I subscribe to. Highly recommend them. Warrior Trading is one of them. Link for that is in the description down below. But there's multiple chat rooms at this time that also see ORGS, so I know people are seeing it, and they're going to jump into it. So I chased it a little bit high here. Got in at 73. I think it was, yeah, this candle right here. So the high of this candle is where I bought it. But as it breaks the 75 level, new buyers are going to come in looking for the push to $9, the whole dollar level. Sure enough, they came in. Then another wave came in of buying for the whole dollar break. It popped up to 922, and I just started selling on the break of $9. I got out at 915, and that was a smart decision because it kind of just sold off from there. So really nice win on the second lot. Even though I was chasing, it would have been an amazing win had I had my original entry at what was it, 827. Oh, that would have been a $2,000 winner right there by itself. And after that, BLIN, I just ended up selling, getting rid of it because it just wasn't moving, and I needed to move on.
Not super interested in that.
BLIN hitting my scanners. This one can move.
BLIN, scanner, type it in my levels.
I'll jump in it real quick.
Scanner
110. I
Not a
mean,
lot of
stop
volume.
loss is 107, so
A little bit on the cheaper
I'll
side.
try it. It has room to the
Watching it right now.
200-day moving average if it can get going. It's one of those where it just probably needs to get over 120 to really move. ORGS hitting the scanners. Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah, BTBT would need to get above $4. But of course now it has 11.7 million shares of volume, so it's gonna start to be a little tug of war, I think. ORGS. Take a look at it on the scans. Moving up on lighter volume. Put an order maybe at the $50 for a scalp. See what it does. Got a starter there for a scalp. Only filled 1,300 shares, so I got a partial fill on my order at the $50 on ORGS. That's over maybe 75. Wow, look at that. Alright, well, took my profit on it, on that squeeze. I really wasn't expecting that. $500. Only got filled small size. Now I'll look at it to maybe get back in.
It was funny. I was on my Facebook
Wow.
last night, and one of Jason's
So ORGS,
Facebook,
that's obviously a pretty big move.
and
Definitely
yeah,
feels good to have a couple green
touching
days here.
PTIE long or short. I already talked about that one. I think I'm staying out of that one.
Selling my BLIN 111.
ISM non-manufacturing PMI 6.
I'm going to take a starter on Lev B at 525. So this next trade was a long on Lev B. This is a cannabis play, whatever. At this point in the day, IGC was going crazy. I think it was IGC. Let me just make sure. Yep, IGC. Okay, started to make a big move from 870 to basically 1070 in this span. So it was moving up, hitting high day scanners, going high a day. It was making a move. So I wanted to play a sympathy play to that, and I thought Lev B might move because of it, and I was wrong. So this is the kind of the chart I was looking at the time. This is the levels I was watching right here. Let me do green and red. Here's my green. All right, so those are the two levels I'm watching. Here's the resistance, here's support on the 1 minute. It's just kind of bouncing through here. Well, like I said, at the time, IGC was going a high a day. And I thought maybe Lev B would do that. I was wrong. So I go long, 525. It looked like a little, there's some support showing up on the L2. On the bid side, it was 1 penny at one time. I took a shot at it. There's a hidden seller on the ask, and this is kind of where the L2 comes into play and learning how to read it. You know, if it only shows, 100 shares on the ask, yet you just bought 2,000 shares and it didn't move, that means there's a hidden seller on the ask, and that's usually not great. Anyway, it didn't do. This is a prime example of the stock didn't do what I thought it was going to do. It didn't break this level while IGC was moving up on the day. So as it was moving back down, I went long again at 525, thinking this level would break. You can kind of see this is kind of just some near-term resistance here. If we could break that, maybe we'd start moving up. It couldn't do it. I was coming back down. I didn't want to be in it anymore because I feared that if it broke this level, it would fall off the cliff. And it did break down a little bit. It did start to finally move up later on, but it didn't do what I thought it was going to do. At the time I thought it was going to do it in, cut it loose, move on.
TSLA Tesla dropping to the low of the day, 298.80.
Takes it up here.
Tango Sandy Lima Alpha. Hudson Bay Capital announcing a short position in Tesla from the Iris-Zone conference.
Wow, 11,000 didn't eat into that 20,000 block there. There's an 11,000 block at 277 didn't phase up 20,000.
Well, for me, I just don't want to give back my easy morning profits.
There you go. It's finally some started eating into it. There it went.
I'm up
The
19
information
bucks.
reporting Instacart expected to top $3 billion in orders this year. Figure would represent more than double its business from last year.
All right, I'm out.
Letter
Lev
P,
B.
SoundCloud, and Pandora enter U.S. ads.
Not moving. There's a
Corey, I
hidden
would look at
seller,
the
so
numbers.
loss
That's
of
letter P.
If your break even
8.
before commit.
So this trade was on WTW Weight Watchers, and this is why it's so important to be in some sort of chat room, because I would have never have noticed this trade. It's not one I would typically watch, but someone in my chat room called it out, and I can't even remember who it was. I think it was Jonesy, one of our shot callers that we have in the chat room. So props to him or whoever it was. calling this one out. This was just I was not aware that Weight Watchers was just going to crap on itself today. I mean, from 74 down to 69 here, all morning long, just red, 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 red. So this is very bearish sign, right? And we get a little relief pop. Maybe this is shorts covering, whatever, taking profit, but the volume is relatively weak for the for these green relief bounces. You can kind of see that down here compared to the red, the selling off that's going on. So I went short looking for this low day break, thinking it's a pretty significant level that it's going to be breaking here on the daily chart. Get the 20-day moving average right around here, that it's already broken and it's pushing down further. If it breaks these levels, this can really get volatile on the way down. So I went short 69.88, got a really good fill because it actually popped up right as I was hitting my short button, and it started to move down. And I ended up covering at 69.80 because there was a flash of green on the time and sales. You'll see it when I run the live clip, and just popped up for a brief second and I just didn't. This thing's already been down so much. I'm kind of just playing a low day break here. Not something I typically like to do, just without some sort of setup. But I was just looking for a scalp on it, and that's what I got. So it's a good trade.
Ratio is a percentage of success.
Cover 276, buy got 277.
VT Therapeutics
Go to
approaching the $5
scanner,
mark
right click, go to
at the high
properties, and then active
490. Now it's
functions, and then you can
450.
select
That's Victor
your
Tango
sound.
Victor Tango.
Yeah, that's about 8,100 on the day for me for trading.
Yeah, I agree, Joel. We need really to see a second stock with momentum pop up and start to take off. High on VTVT is 90.
So this next trade on WTW is a much cleaner setup. So this is a 5-minute chart right here. So here's the 5-minute. All right, just selling, crazy selling. We got a relief bounce, and then my entry was the first 5-minute candle under candle after this relief bounce, right? So drop, relief bounce, candle under candle. So the break of, what is this low? 69.58. Wow, is that the low? All right, well, that's what I was aiming for, I guess. The entry, I took a little. It looks like my short was 69.70. So okay, I see what I did. So I was looking for, this was my goal, the 5-minute candle under candle. But I wanted to try to get a little early in this, and I used the 1 minute right here as my setup into that, and I'll show you specifically what I was looking at. So here's the 10:19 a.m. candle right here. And you kind of see we just had a 1 minute candle over candle. We had a 1 minute over candle over candle here, candle under candles, just kind of all over the place. But specifically, as it came back down and we did a 1 minute candle over candle, it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm willing to try, especially since we're leading up to this 5-minute candle under candle. I want to go short on the very next candle under candle, since it could not, the trend reversed. It was bouncing up here, but now here's a peak, right? Here's a peak. It's descending now. So I want to try the next 1 minute candle under candle at this point. That would be right here. and that's why I went short 69.70. And my goal is that, okay, I'll go short here. I've got a little scalp that I hope leads to this move, the candle under candle. It drops down, and you'll see on the L2 there's a big stack at the 0.57 mark, and you'll see that when I run the live clip. And you know, as it pulled down, it looked like it was going to shoot right back up, and as it was moving back up, I covered for about an 8-cent win. It was nice. It eventually did break the 57 mark, flush out, give me the candle under candle on the 5-minute, and just move its way down like, you know, I had thought. But, you know, once I'm green on a trade, I really don't like going even or red, so I cover it up and grab the profit.
VTVT, look at that, back at $5. You know, this is what you have to be careful of. Don't overstay your welcome.
Look at the 1 minute. The volume's declining. It's still moving up a little bit, but the volume's declining here.
VTVT, you know, I don't usually do bottom
Medical,
out,
I hit a high of 830, now it's $7.29.
you'll get to VWAP is at 414, so you know if it went down that low, you might get a bounce off of VWAP. Right? See the way it's kind of dropping? Watch it go down. There may be some. So you know you could have taken that maybe a little pop there over 80, but it's not. Hasn't really done much.
Hidden buyer at 69.70.
MBOT, you can see on that one, let's follow the rules, wait for it to give confirmation, let it get
There it
fly
goes.
out of the halt. I mean, you know, let it really show strength. It didn't, so no trades, no entry, no loss.
Needs to break this 69.57. I'm gonna do it. So this next trade is right inside this candle right here. So let me actually just make it look like, there we go. So that's kind of what I was looking at this time of day. This was just kind of a low a day break that I was playing for. You kind of see it just every time, you know, there's just no momentum pushing upwards. And this is kind of actually a dangerous area because the stock could have double bottomed here at the 69.44 area where, you know, it was trying to put in some support and then just completely sprung up to the 70.50 area. It just could have moved that fast. But the risk reward here is that if it flushes out, if it breaks that support level, it could really move to the downside, and you kind of see it went down to 69. So it's very important to have your hand on the trigger in this situation because the spring is wound up and it's ready to go. It's either going to pop or drop here. In my case, it dropped, and I got screwed on the fill when I tried to cover, but it's a different story. So anyway, I go short 69.44 right here. What time was it? Right here. All right, I'm thinking the highs are getting lower on the 1 minute. It's going to break this level. It's going to flush out low a day. All right, had to wait 1 minute more for it to go, and I was telling myself if it goes candle over candle, I'm gonna stop out. So it was getting real tight. Like this is, you know, the peak of this one. This is the high, and this is the low. You can kind of see that when I hover over the candle. The high here is 69.49. The high here was 69.47. You know, we hadn't had a candle over candle in about 10 minutes. So it was going to make or break time in this next candle. Finally opened. We broke the level. Drops down to 69.30, and I try to cover. I'm like, you'll look in the top right hand corner when I run the live clip. I'm up $1,900 at this point in the day, and I'm just trying to make $100 just so I can have a nice, clean $200 win or $2,000 win, be done for the day. And when I hit the cover button, I get filled at 69.41, and it was way down here in the 30s, and I was real pissed because it didn't get my goal, and I ended up over trading on the next trades and giving back some. So, but this trade turned out okay. Crappy fill on the cover.
VTGN, Vistagen Therapeutics popping to the highs. $2.10 now. Victor Tango Golf November. APWK indicating 21 on 1.04 million. Coming up, crude and gasoline inventories.
Oh my gosh, really? 41? So this next trade is the over trading trade. So we had just broken this level. We got the candle down, and I'm thinking, okay, here we go. We're going to go the next leg down. We've had plenty of these, times where the stock this morning has just continued on down. I was just going for a little continuation. Again, I only needed $50. And I would have a $2,000 morning. And it just didn't work out. So I go short, thinking that I can get 5 cents out of this move. It sure looked like it on the L2 when I run it. You'll see it. And then all of a sudden, buyers come in, shoot it up to 69.50, and I stop out for a 17-cent loss, close to a $400 loss, and about $350, and that just kind of screwed my morning. And I finished up, just over $1,500 in the first hour. I did make a bunch of other trades that got me back over 22.41. I think you can see that. Nope, you can't see that. I'll have to somehow figure out how to pull this down so you can kind of see that. But it was a good day for sure, and a little over trading at the end, but all in all, win percentage was outstanding. So I do like what the markets are doing, and I'm looking forward to trading tomorrow. If you have any questions, find me in my free Discord chat room. Link for that is in the description down below. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.
Crude now dropping sharply, 74.30. VTGN, Vistagen Therapeutics getting a spike here, 233 now.
All right, that's the bottom. That's a shame.
Fault could be coming in.